As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio. Hi, welcome back to Coaching Success Radio. William here, and today I have a single mom from India. She's a best-selling author. She's a confidence coach and brand expert, and she is here to share her story, a little bit about how she got her business up and going, and all the amazing stuff that she is up to. Help me introduce Kusha Kalra. How are you today, Kusha?
Hey, William, I am very well. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction and this great opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. I was intrigued by your story and intrigued by your all the stuff that you're putting together. So give our audience just a little taste of who you are, a little backstory before we get into the conversation here.
Right. So as William already has mentioned, my name is Kusha. I am from a place called India, which is the land of diverse cultures, diverse colors, diverse religions. So we're all about diversity. We're all about having different kinds of people, and we love to enjoy life. So that's exactly where I come from. And yes, I am a single mom for the last 9 years. I've got a 9-year-old son, and I live with my parents here in India. And I am also a certified life coach. So that is exactly how coaching happened to my life. And I've used my coaching in, building my online business. And I am currently, running my online business since last year as a confidence coach and brand expert. And just recently this year, I also had another dream of mine come true, which is to become a best-selling author. So on 8th March, which is International Women's Day, my book was launched, and it's by the name of Rise in Pursuit of, Empowerment. And, we became a best-selling author across US, UK, Canada, so across the world. And I am really, really happy that, in my life journey, I've come this far. So when I look back, I think it feels like a dream come true. And it only means that, it's like going to be, it's about just moving ahead from here without looking back at, whatever would have gone wrong, whatever challenges I might have had. So yeah, this is in short about me.
Well, let's dive into the book. That just sounds super fascinating to me. I know a number of people in the audience have considered writing a book and getting started and have ideas. How did that process start for you, and what kept you going? Because that's a difficult undertaking, right? Yes. Talk me through that story a little bit.
So honestly, William, I've had this thing going on, since I became a coach, which was like 2013, roughly. Yes, that's the time I got my coaching certification. And I was also, in a transition from, getting separated and, having my own life as a single mom. And coaching played a very, very huge role in my transformation. And it really helped me to move past whatever fears and inhibitions I had. And I did come across somebody who had offered me at that time to write a book. Okay. But then I was not ready financially, because I was just starting out, and I was still trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I had to let that opportunity pass, 6 years back. And the same thing, came back to me last year through a common friend. And it's basically her baby, it's her project, because she has a dream of having 100 women write their stories in her book. So she approached me, and, in fact, how that really happened was, she saw an article, which was printed in one of my local newspapers, which is like one of the India's top newspapers. So she saw that, and she realized that, why doesn't she have my story in her book? So she wanted my story in her book, and she approached me and she said, would you like to contribute as an author in my, first book? So that's exactly how, this whole thing started. And honestly, William, I so agree with you when you say that it's such a big thing to happen. And, we somehow delay it. We somehow postpone. We somehow have our own inhibitions. What am I going to write? How am I going to write? There are so many things which keep, telling us that it's not now, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. But when this thing came, I was like, let's just give it a shot, What's the worst that can happen? But honestly, you write a book, there's nothing worse that's going to happen. It's going to be for the best. So she was basically having a team of, copywriters, somebody to take care of the editing, the proofreading, and she had a team who was even taking care of the marketing and ensuring how to get it published. So her team was ready. What I had to really do was share my story. It's like as simple as that. So I think this is the best opportunity that I could find for myself. And, along with me, there were 24 other women entrepreneurs who have contributed in this book. So, anybody and everyone who got this book actually got hold of 25 empowering women, and their stories and their challenges which they went through. So challenges could be from related to domestic violence. It could be related to overcoming cancer, trauma, depression, PTSD, going up the top topmost mountain, at the age of 60. And these are like such inspiring stories that you can find out in that book. And that was exactly what the intent has been of this book, that we try and touch lives, and we inspire other women to overcome challenges and succeed. So that is exactly what happened. And so we were all together in this. It was just not she doing the thing. So it was complete teamwork, and coordinating and aligning together, and making sure that it was a team success. So that's exactly how this book finally came, got published, and it got published successfully. So yeah, that's exactly how it happened.
I think a lot of coaches don't think about that. A lot of business owners don't think about the fact that you can collaborate and create a product that's actually, it's more significant because you have a lot more people involved, but it also, it creates its own sense of accountability, right? When you have 24
Absolutely.
other women who are relying on you to get your stuff done, it's the excuses just can't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And you force yourself to move forward. So what was your chapter? What was your piece about? Can you give us a little taste of what you talked about?
Yeah, I've got my book also over here. I don't know if you can see it. See, it says
I can.
Drive.
And we'll put a link to it as well. I want to let people
Sure.
have a chance to get it.
Absolutely. So this is again basically, I'll just give you a quick background about what it is. The title of my story is I Am Love and I Grow Daily. Yeah. And it's about, my past experience. It is about how, I had to, move out of toxic environment because, I came from a relationship which was toxic, which had, violence, which had abuse, and how I had to let go of that and rebuild myself and start my life and journey all over again. So this is exactly what is mentioned in my story. It also talks about my journey, as I transitioned from my 9-to-5 job and moved into business, and how I've even struggled initially with friends telling me that they're going to support me, and having business partners, with whom I started my work, and then having a betrayal from them. So it's like the total challenge which I went through, and how it just made me more strong. It just made me realize that I have to go on come what may, and I have to fulfill my dreams, and I have to not depend on anybody else for my happiness. And I need to put my foot down if there's something that I don't agree with, and if there's something that is not making me or my soul happy. So that is exactly what is there about in this book of my story. So yeah, I don't want to give more about it. It's rather
no. I wanted to give a taste because I think it's so powerful what you're sharing, and obviously this is just yours, and there's so many other people contributing and helping and really encouraging and empowering women to take ownership of themselves, take control, and not let anybody else tell them what they are capable of. Let them prove to themselves and even prove beyond what they think is possible. So I love it, and we'll definitely put a link down below and let people check it out. I think it's awesome.
Sure.
Let's talk about your coaching business a little bit. You said you've been doing this for several years now. At this point, you have some. Before we talked here, we had a little conversation about you have a challenge that you're running right now, some groups that you run. Can you give me kind of an overview, like a helicopter view of what you currently have? Like you have some programs, some groups, how's your business set up right now?
So currently what I am doing is basically a free challenge, because I want that a lot of coaches, they have no idea of when they enter into the coaching industry, how do they become more visible? Okay. And that's a very, very important aspect, especially if you're online. Okay. People cannot meet you every now and then face to face in an online industry, right? So everything's happening behind the laptop, just like you and I are right now. And over here, before we really get face to face with each other through a Zoom room and a Zoom link, you need to have some place where you can, present yourself or showcase your business. So that is exactly what I'm helping people, through my challenge. So I'm helping them to create a base. I'm helping them to create a foundation so that, they have that makeover done for, their branding. And they know that this is my foundation and I can take it further up from here to the next level. So that's exactly what my challenge is all about. Because this is again my first time. Till now I have only been doing one-on-one done for you service. This is just this time that, for the first time I thought that let me try doing a challenge and, see how things go. So I don't have like a huge group of 100, 200 people. It's a very small group, but they are like, all of them are participating. They're enjoying it. They're giving me feedback then and there that, whatever you shared is really helping us. So I know that this works. And from here, I'm going to just, rinse and repeat it every month so that I can get more people to, transform and, build their brand basically. So it's a complete brand makeover in a short span of 5 days. And that is exactly what this challenge is. It's called Unleash Your Brand. That's the name of the challenge.
Awesome. And that's very cool. And when you mentioned that I don't have a group of, hundreds and hundreds of people, I tend to think that people maybe put a lot more weight and stock in the number of people and followers they have versus the quality of those people. So if you've got a small group of a dozen people who are really focused and engaged and are hungry, that's way more effective and way more powerful than having 1,000 people following you around who just, kind of see your emails and go, oh, that's great. And they're just interested. They're just kind of stalking you, right? So I don't think there's any harm in that at all. I think it's beautiful. Would you mind giving us a little tiny taste? Can you give like one nugget of what you're talking about with the branding? Can just share one thing that you're sharing with your group, so the audience can kind of hear and get a taste of it?
Yeah, sure. So I will talk about my method of how you should really be doing branding. I call it the 5S theory, and it's basically about looking at your brand as a human. Okay, looking at your brand as a human, because people are going to create a perception or an image of your brand whenever they will go to your, they will check your website, whenever they will check your landing page, whenever they will come on your business page. So wherever they will see anything related to you, they're going to create an image about you or your business. So it's best that you need to treat this as a human being, because at the end of the day, it's going to create an image in your client's head. So my 5S theory is basically about using all 5 senses when you're talking about your brand. Okay. So are you actually looking at your brand, according to the, to all 5 senses? So all 5 senses is, how do you look at it? How does it smell? How does it taste? How does it feel? And how does it, hear? So all these 5 senses, I'm trying to cover it just like an overview in the challenge, because I want to take it to the next level, later on, post the challenge. So the 5 senses would mean if your brand was, let's say, a fragrance. So what would you want people to feel? What kind of smell would you want them to feel? If your brand was, let's say, an animal, so which animal and why? Okay. It's like basically giving a tangible face to your brand. If your brand was, let's say, a food item, so what food item, and with that, what kind of taste do you want your clients to feel, right? Something like that. And if your brand was, let's say, if your brand was basically a particular place, like a vacation spot or some place that you really are very fond of. So which one would that be? And what kind of an experience are you actually wanting to give them? So basically making your brand like a human and, immersing your personality in it. Okay. Because once you do that and once you use it visually, your client will get attracted. Your client will be able to resonate better. And it won't be just another client. It will be only those kind of people who resonate with your personality. So you want the right people. You don't want just another client, right? Just like you mentioned, we don't need 1,000 followers. We just need those 10, 20, 50 people who are the right kind of audience for us. So it just will happen when your personality comes out, and your personality is through your five senses. So what do you like? Just try and map it in your branding and use that to, use that in your visuals, use that on your website, etc. And you've got it. So that's my 5S theory.
Fantastic way to take something very abstract and make it into a concrete, tangible, something I can actually understand. Because the idea of branding, and I've had some branding experts come on, and it is a complicated issue in some regard, because, how do I describe something like the way that my brand feels, or the way that my brand relates, or the way that, how do I describe authenticity, right, in a tangible way? So this is a really nice creative idea. I really like that. So people who would be interested in getting with you and knowing more about either your challenges or knowing about how to connect with you directly, what's probably the very best way to do that? Obviously, the book is a fantastic way to learn more about your story, but what about connecting with you and building a relationship? What's the best way to do that?
So, well, obviously I am, because I'm all about branding and visibility. So I am all over on social media. So I have my Instagram and I have my Facebook business page and I have my website. All these three things are by the name of The Bespoke Designs. So, they can definitely connect with me on my business page or on my Instagram or my website. And if they want to just get connected with me as a person, then, my Facebook profile is again by the name of Kusha Kalra. That's my own name. So, they can just send me a message and we can become friends and we can take it forward from there.
I would highly recommend that. You have a ton of value to give, and honestly, super enjoyable to talk to and learn from. And I'd love to have you back on the program at some point and kind of follow up and see what else is going on.
That's awesome. I think that's a great idea. Yeah, I'd love to be back again here.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for taking the time to join. Again, check out her book. Make sure I get this right. Rise in Pursuit of Empowerment. Is that correct?
That's right.
Check it out. We'll have the link down there. Amazing stuff in there. Kusha, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, William. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm going to go ahead and pop. Oh, hold on. Don't go anywhere. I hit the wrong button. Sometimes.
Hey, there's nothing worse than going through all this time and work, learning about how to coach, learning about how to market yourself, get your message out there, organically connect with other coaches, pay for advertising, do all the things we need to do to market our business. And then you finally get on that sales call and you freeze up, you choke up. You're so concerned about how much you're charging and you're just freaking out about telling them how much it's going to cost. It's not worth it. Listen, there's a simpler way, and I want to show you a very simple strategy to help ramp up your sales calls, your strategy sessions, your onboarding sessions, whatever you call it. I want you to go right now to strategysessionmastery.xyz. You're going to sign up. There's a free 3-day mastermind that's being held in October, and it's going to help you get past any of the barriers that are stopping you from onboarding high-ticket clients, because let's face it, if you do all this other work and you don't actually get the clients, it's not worth it. So go to strategysessionmastery.xyz right now and sign up for the 3-day masterclass.